Hello, everybody. It's me, Lindsay Rogers. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, which is the Wrestling Fan Vlog. Anyway, let's talk about some things about what's going on about, talk about last night. So, I had to find out what the problem was with, what happened last night. I mean, since AEW Dynamite and WWE NXT were running again, and I decided to watch AEW Dynamite. And I will say that AEW Dynamite is really getting good. I mean, seriously. And I don't know why people are so angry about that. About it. There's some who are because they're nothing more than fans of WWE NXT. And I can see what happened with WWE NXT last night, and because I went to watch it on demand today, and boy, I can say this. AEW was better last night than WWE NXT, because what happened was the highest point of it was everybody gets to see was Alex Shelley and KUSHIDA of the known much as everybody as the Time Splitters versus the grizzly young veterans. And I don't know about the other tag team, but I know much about Shelley and KUSHIDA, and I see where everybody was angry about. And not to mention, they were booing the crap out of the other tag team, especially when they beat KUSHIDA and Shelley. And I can say that it's ridiculous. I can understand. I mean, otherwise, there were some other things like everybody was talking about, but I think everybody really wanted to see was Shelley and KUSHIDA versus Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish of the Undisputed Era, also known as Red Dragon. And I don't blame them that they wanted to see something that happened. I don't know if they did face off each other in New Japan, but I can see where the anger is coming from. So, besides of what happened, I mean, the other thing was really much weird enough was to see of what is going on. But as I can tell, that the tag team tournament that is happening, that is honoring of Cody and Dustin Rhodes' father, Dusty Rhodes. I think this is going to turn out to be more of a match. Part of a bigger storyline that's going on between the Undisputed Era and the Imperium, which is led by Walter. And I think this is just what it's going to be. I mean, don't get me wrong. Now, the other things I can say is I know that I spoke some spoilers if you guys haven't seen that, but yes, I can understand where everybody's coming from about the whole entire Shelley and KUSHIDA and not having a chance them to go against Bobby and Kyle is ridiculous, but I can see where everybody is so angry about, and because of that. Now, I'm gonna link down in the description down below video that WWE NXT had, or should I say the WWE YouTube channel had, is they interview a couple of guys who had known of Alex Shelley, and it's Nigel McGuinness, I guess because he wrestled into Alex Shelley, I guess in Ring of Honor, Johnny Gargano, which apparently they had fought against each other, and I think it was at AEW, Absolute Intense Wrestling. So I think that's one of the times they fought, and it was upon a match. I guess the loser leaves town. On let's see who else. Also, Oh yeah, and of course Cesaro and Cassius Ohno, well, men that I know of as Chris Hero and Claudio Castagnoli, the Kings of Wrestling. They both had faced against Alex Shelley, but that was in Ring of Honor, where Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin, otherwise known as the Motor City Machine Guns, um, took on against the Kings of Wrestling. So I can understand where this is. I understand about that. Now I know, besides of what happened, some fans were saying that they were hoping that Chris Sabin would come to WWE, and the answer is no. Chris Sabin is not coming to WWE at all, and the reason why is Chris Sabin, I heard from a friend, says that Chris Sabin is actually a producer on Impact Wrestling, so it's not likely that Chris Sabin is going to leave his position to just join WWE to have a reunion. And I don't think that's going to be happening anytime soon. So, as of right now, you're going to just have to take of the KUSHIDA and Alex Shelley. Now, I don't know if this is going to be a one-time thing, or we're going to see more of Shelley and KUSHIDA together. So, that's up to WWE. Now, I want to get over to talking about sorry about that. I had to fix up my hair for a moment. Okay, so now let's talk about AEW Dynamite. Now, AEW Dynamite last night was way much better, and the reason why was how things started off. I mean, with the show kicks off in a understand these are spoilers, in a 4-way a tag team match, and it turns out that, spoiler alert, Kenny Omega and Adam Page are going to be facing against Scorpio Sky and Frankie Kazarian next week, like on a cruise ship, which is part of the Chris Jericho cruise, and there will be airing so AEW Dynamite will be held on a cruise ship. I mean, yes. This is the first I ever am going to see this happening. But yes, AEW Dynamite's going to be probably live and on a cruise ship. Because it's Chris Jericho's Jericho Cruise. So yes, next week will be Kenny Omega and Adam Page will be taking on against Frankie Kazarian and Scorpio Sky of SCU for the AEW tag team titles. So yes, that was now understand this is part of the Bash at the Beach stage of for AEW Dynamite. There were other things happening. There was the 6-man tag team match between MJF, the Butcher and the Blade, that is of Andy Williams, the guy who's the always considered to be the guitar player for Every Time I Die, and of course Pepper Parks, otherwise known as the Blade, and being at ringside to accompany an MJF and the two guys is Wardlow and Ali, otherwise known as the Bunny. And believe me, I can understand where this whole entire situation is coming from. So yes, so apparently now they were facing off against Diamond Dallas Page, DDP, yeah, and also with them was Dustin Rhodes and QT Marshall. Now, here's what happening. Now, understand, there's are some spoilers as well. So Dustin did not much I can say. amazed me, but seeing DDP in a wrestling ring, jeez, it's been a while. I mean, I'm trying to remember when was the last time he was in a ring. I mean, I can only think about the time he took on against The Undertaker, but that was in WWE. And it was under weird circumstances because of what going on with The Undertaker. So, anyway, but DDP looked in great shape, I can say. Now, and of course, QT Marshall, I can't believe I'm saying this, but QT Marshall really did good in the tag team match. I mean, besides, I couldn't believe he did cartwheels, and then I think he flipped off MJF. I can't remember, but he was so cool because he was acting so acrobatic and being so cool. I just couldn't believe I tweeted that, and then of course I found out QT Marshall liked it. I'm like, oh jeez. Now before that happened, I mean, before the tag team match, of course, the tag team match ended with MJF quickly pinning QT Marshall, but before that, Cody Rhodes had came out and he kind of ended up accepting MJF's rules, and it sounds like to me it was humiliating. But I guess because Cody wants to be the better man than MJF, so be it. Anyway, now besides that, also, now before that also happens, just another spoiler, Cody's wife, Brandy Rhodes, was in tag team action. Now, she wasn't, now, according to what I can tell you because when I was last week, she wasn't announced to be part of this tag team match, but she had to because Awesome Kong, who was scheduled to be in this tag team match with Mel against Chris Statlander and Hikaru Shida, but she was not medically cleared. So Brandy took her place. So anyway, so Brandy Rhodes and Mel with the man that they known as Luthor, as I heard through, that he is a friend of Chris Jericho. But he's part of the collective with Brandy. Took on against Chris Statlander and Hikaru Shida. And apparently, let's just say you don't mess around with Shida at all. But apparently, Shida and Chris had defeated the ladies, and the craziest part ever was in the beginning of the match. When Shida was about to come out, when she came out, Luthor greeted her up there, and while Mel and Brandy worked on Chris, and the craziest part was Shida took the kendo stick and she whacked Luthor. She whacked the guy. I couldn't believe she did that. That's like the best part of what happened at AEW Dynamite during that tag team match. And of course they get into the match, and apparently I can say that I'm amazed that Brandy, wow. She did, I mean, this is her first since time being in a ring since, I guess, when she was in Japan. I think this is like the first time her wrestling since her first time traveling in Japan and wrestled for I guess Stardom. Um, which I heard from Cody she did good. But I mean she did. She didn't do bad. She didn't do much bad. I mean, she did good and much, and but I mean, I'm trying to be nice here, okay? Just understand what I'm just trying to say is Brandy did good. I mean, it's it's a little bit much better than she had when she was in Stardom. Despite she got a little bit injured when she was in Japan, but Brandy did great. But in the end, Chris Strananda and Hikaru Shida beat her and Mel. So, But anyway, so let's see what else I should talk about. Oh yeah, let's also talk. Of course, there was Jon Moxley versus Sammy Guevara, and of course, Pac versus Darby Allin, and wow, it was so crazy enough. What happened was, so Sammy Guevara versus Jon Moxley was really kind of good. The only thing is I couldn't stop laughing about Jon Moxley. What happened was, I think when he came out and then during the match, all I could see was Moxley's underwear. And I tweeted out, I see London, I see France, I see Jon Moxley's underpants. And I tweeted briefs, but I meant to say boxers, but I tweeted that out. So is it boxers or briefs, Jon Moxley? Jeez. Anyway, so the match happened. As much as I could say, I thought Sammy was going to end up dominating, but instead Moxley beat him. So yes, that's another spoiler. After the match, more to no spoiler. Chris Jericho tries to channel in the icon, the man, the legend, Sting, by having the arena lights go off and then come back on. Jericho comes out along with Jake Hager and the Pride and Powerful duo that is Santana and Ortiz. Surrounded Jon Moxley and started to beat him up. And especially what Jericho did was he ended up throughout the whole entire situation, when Moxley was beaten by nearly everybody of the inner circle, especially the part was really kind of a little bit funny, but I shouldn't laugh about this. But what happened was Sammy Guevara somehow got out of it after he got his butt handed to him. To Jon Moxley. He ended up go and slap he just like silly slapped Jon Moxley silly enough. He's like sorry with those he slapped him so silly. I'm like, geez, Sammy. But anyway, so Chris Jericho, of course, then when Chris Jericho decided to do was when it was his turn, he decided to take a spike out off of his jacket, and he decided to use it on Moxley, and he kind of made Moxley blind on one eye, and also hurting his cheek, and I was like, oh jeez. So apparently Moxley had to be taken out back and see what was wrong with him. And then, of course, Pac versus Darby Allin. I couldn't believe how much I could say this, but wow. But Pac ended up beating him. Sorry, that's a spoiler. And apparently after that, John Moxley, who refused to get out, came out and he says that he's not going down, even he has one eye, because he still wants to go after, he wants to wrestle against Pac, and then of course he wants Jericho. So next week's gonna be crazy while everybody's on the high seas of a cruise ship that is the Jericho cruise. So, truth be told is, yes, I think that WWE NXT was not good. But last night, AEW Dynamite was best, and I'm just saying. I mean, even though I didn't bother finishing to watch the final part, it was the main event for the NXT, and that was the Battle Royale, the Women's Battle Royale. Whoever was going to win would face against, I guess, Rhea Ripley. So, I don't know. Anyway, I hope you guys do understand. Oh, and by the way, one more thing. As of today, because there was been announced on Twitter, but as of today, Taz as the human suplex machine, who's now going to be on commentary, he signed with AEW. So now he is AEW. So congratulations to Taz joining AEW. Anyway, that's all for today. I will have some things. I'll have some videos that I highly recommend you check out. Especially the interviews about those who hadn't know about Alex Shelley. Oh, and I also want to mention, I forgot one more thing I want to mention. The Dark Order. They're getting good every week, and despite that, I see that their plans are for going after some wrestlers. But understand, I know much about the Dark Order since I heard about them, since they were once known as the Super Smash Bros. And I'm going to get a video. You guys can check it down in the description down below. It's about something they did in Chikara that has to do with Evil Uno and Delirious and Hollow Wicked and Stu Grayson. Of course, Bryce Rensburg was the referee in this tag team match. And Mike Quackenbush and Loud and Noxious were on commentary. So, I mean, it's a really funny thing because they were going off against each other. It's a really funny video. You should check it out. I'll post that there. Anyway, I hope you guys do like this video. If you do, please hit that like button down below. If you are new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. Make sure notifications are definitely turned on. Also, follow me on Instagram, which is Lindsay_star. And on Twitter, it will be Miss Lindsay Star. There will be down in the description down below. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Till then, bye.